Hi guys, I'm Courtney from womenlivingwell.org, home of Good Morning Girls. And today I just want to talk to you casually. You know, if you've watched a lot of my YouTubes, then you know that I typically am teaching the Bible over the last few years, and I always have my notes here, like everything I have to say. And right now I have absolutely no notes. I just want to talk to you from my heart. These notes are here because I just got done recording some other videos, and I'm going to share with you in a moment. But for those of you who follow me for a long time, you might remember back in the day when I started blogging and I talked a lot about all of my life, right? Like the window to my life was just like completely open, and I was like, come on in and take a look at my homeschooling, at my cooking and my kitchen, my recipes. And I shared about my parenting and my discipline techniques and my chores that my chore systems and just everything. I was sharing everything, my marriage and all about that, and then about my devotions. And then in 2015, abruptly, I closed the door to my private life, because at that time, that is when my husband left me for another woman, and I was in shock. And I went through a very dark season where I continued to blog, I continued to write Bible studies, and I've continued on for the last 7 years doing that. But my parenting and my family life and all those things behind the scenes, I pretty much left the door closed, first for the sake of my children. As they were growing up, they did not need to have that before a camera, right? And then secondly, just for myself, as I tried to sort out all my emotions and all my spiritual even struggles and questions and all the things that were going on inside of me, I just needed that time of privacy. And so now I'm kind of on the other side. I feel like God has brought me through. My kids are now 17 and 19. My son just had his last day of high school last Friday. This Saturday he graduates, and on Sunday we have a graduation party. So we made it. We are here, and he is going away to the Liberty University this fall, where he's getting a degree in business. And then, Lord willing, he would like to go to law school following that, if God continues to keep him on that plan and that dream. And then for my daughter, she's about to become a senior at high school, and she too wants to go away to Liberty University with her brother. Alex and Alexis are very close. They really love each other. They love being together, and so they want to stay together. And so Lexi's, Lord willing, the plan right now is to get a degree in counseling. And so this is where we're at. For the last 7 years, my children have lived with me 100%, or I should say maybe 98% of the time. They sleep here, they live here in my home. And so I've been being a single mom. And I have to say that when that door closed and I stopped sharing my private life, that I went through the darkest time of my life without my husband. It was hard and it was scary. And I always say at the end of every video and at the end of every blog post, walk with the King. But I have to tell you, it was more like off-roading with the King. You know, like I was like, okay, where are you taking me, Lord? We are like off in the weeds. We are in the forest. It is dark. It is scary and it is hard. But I can testify now that not 1 second, 1 minute, not for 1 day, 1 month, 1 year, God has never left me alone. And even on times when he seemed silent, I can look back and I can see that he was indeed there, and he has brought me through, and I am so grateful. And I want to share that now. I want to share my story. I want to share my struggles. I want to encourage other single moms. And so if you are a single mom, I have put my heart and my soul and my story into a new course over at my mentorshipcourses.com, where I am talking about how to be a strong mom, and I'm talking about my parenting techniques and some of those things, and how to be strong spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally, and financially, because I believe that all those things are intertwined, that if we are not strong physically, that is going to affect our emotional health, right? When we don't get our sleep, it's hard to do life, right? So our physical health affects our emotional health. Our emotional health can affect our spiritual health. I know that when I was down and asking questions, I started being like, God, where are you? Why would you let this happen? I would pray and pray and pray. And then I'm like, why do I even pray if you're not going to answer my prayers, Lord? You know, like then you get into a spiritual crisis. And so our physical life affects our emotional life, affects our spiritual health, affects our financial health. Oh my goodness, it was scary when my husband left. I was like, how are we going to make it? What are we going to do? For the first time in my life, I really had to, I was alone, and I had 2 kids, and I had to figure it out. And so there's been so many life lessons and things that God has taught me. And I am hoping to be able to encourage you. So if you're a single mom, I invite you to join me to this mini course that's just releasing right now this week over at mymentorshipcourses.com. And I don't know, even if you're not a single mom, if you want to hear some of my parenting advice or life advice, you're welcome to join us. It will be specifically though for single moms. So there might be some things in there that you're like, doesn't apply. But I know that if you are a single mom, that you've gone through something hard. You're either an unwed mother, you've gone through a divorce, which is painful, or you have gone through the loss of a spouse through death, which is painful. And so all three of those are hard, and I know you're a survivor if you're a single mom. And my hope and my prayer is to help you, if you feel like you're just surviving, to take you to thriving. And so, yeah, I just want to invite you. I hope you'll join me at mymentorshipcourses.com. Keep walking with the King.